Alright, YouTube, welcome back. My name is B-Lutz, and today we're going to be doing my Eastern Conference outlook and prediction video. This should be shorter than the West video, as there's not as much happening. There's still some good storylines happening in the East, but it's not the West right now, and it's starting to take form a little bit more certain on a couple things. You get this out the video, the games are starting like less than an hour, like 30 minutes at this point, so get right to it. There's some good teams. Where do we begin? The Pistons, I think are still the clear-cut favorite right now. I know they don't have Durant for a little bit. They have like a 6-game lead, so I think we'll see them mostly in autopilot for the second half of the year. Hopefully they can rest up some of their guys for the playoffs, because a lot of these other teams are going to be scrapping for seeding, and it looks like the Pistons have a little bit of a grace period right now. So I think the Pistons are probably at least not really worth talking about too much right now, as they are the best team in the East. No more Ivy. They've made a couple. It's interesting to see how the trades look. Can't remember what trade they made, but yeah, Pistons are the 1 seed. Pistons look like they're gonna get the best record and get home court. Yeah, we'll probably end up making a Pistons video in a bit. Probably not for a while, but see how the rest of their season goes. Kind of moving on to the Celtics, Knicks, and the Cavs have entered the conversation. I can't remember if I uploaded the video talking about the Cavs, but they really started to figure things out, and then they traded Garland for James Harden, so we'll see how that all plays out. The Cavs could be really competitive. The Celtics are really competitive. The Knicks are really competitive. Obviously, the Pistons. I think the Sixers could be really competitive depending on health and Paul George. Keep in mind, Pandemic P got popped. Paul George got popped. So the Sixers are a little bit of a mystery. I'd take the Raptors over them right now. I know the Raptors are higher up in seeding. But the Celtics, we're kind of circling back to the Celtics. The Vucevic trading Simons. I like their team. I don't think Tatum will play this year personally. I don't think he should play this year. I'm no doctor. But once Tatum's back, this team's going to be great. But it's really cool, again, we mentioned this earlier, to see them competing without him is a really good sight for the NBA. And I think Anti-Tank and Adam Silver got to be glazing the Celtics for how they have competed. Knicks are on a 5-game. I think they're on the second longest win streak in the NBA behind the Spurs. Oh, before we go back into the Celtics young guys, they're getting really valuable minutes from people you've never heard of. A couple of draft picks over the last few years. Just blinking on the guy with the no hair. The defensive guy. Yeah. And they had Quade. Is that how you say Quade? Get valuable minutes. Now that they have Vooch, will get less minutes. We are gonna make a video on the anti-tanking too. We'll get a little bit more on that. But kind of moving back on to the Knicks. Sorry, New York has been playing really good. Brunson's been playing better. I still don't favor them in the East. I want to take them over the Celtics. I want to take them over the Pistons. Yeah. But the Knicks are really good. They could be anyone, but it's hard to win when Jalen Brunson's your best player, and now JB's one of the best players in the game. I think the Raptors, depending on who we play, are first round wins, but the Raptors get a bad matchup in the first round. I can see them going home. By far the most fun of these groups of teams to watch is the Raptors, though. I think they got a lot of dudes out there, kind of shifting into Toronto into the 6. They got a lot of good basketball players out there. Little weak at the guard position, but everything else they've been doing is really good. They got a lot of young pieces with Sneed and CMB, Barrett. Barrett's older now. I guess Barrett isn't really young anymore. I wouldn't consider him young. The other guard that's not Sneed, I'm just blanking on his name. And I've seen a lot of lineups of like CMB playing the big or Scotty Barnes playing the big, and I think that's really interesting. Those guys will get monster stats whenever they do that, kind of like stat padding out of the center position. But yeah, I think the Raptors, if this continues, they could be a really good team with like 1 or 2 more players. But They're still a good team. Still a playoff team, I think. Kind of leaves us in Phillies in the weirdest spot out of these teams. We skip the Cavs. We'll talk about the Cavs, too. I think the Cavs are the 4th seed right now. Toronto's the 5th seed. If New York's the 3 seed. Yeah. And I feel like Philly's in such an odd spot because at points it's been like Tyrese Maxey's been playing his best basketball, and then Joel Embiid's played his best basketball, but they haven't felt like they've had a good stretch together doing that. And I think Edgecombe hasn't been as good as since his start, which is no big deal. You're a rookie. You're going to see lots of ups and downs. You're going to see highs and lows as a rookie. But I think Edgecombe needs to step up. They moved McCain, which was wild at the deadline. Even if you have that guy as your backup point guard, I think that's better than what you got. But yeah, I don't really like Philly still. Don't like the team as much. Even when PG's back, you got Oubre. Yeah, it's kind of a weird squad. I think they're still a playoff team. I think those top 5, 6 teams are all pretty much locked in the East. Then you get down to like the 7 seed, which is like the Heat could compete as well. We haven't talked about the Heat and the Cavs. The Cavs have had probably the best stretch out of these teams, I would think. I know the Knicks are on a 5-game, but the Knicks recently lost like 10 straight games. But the Cavs have quietly moved up into the top 4 seeding, looking for a home playoff series in round 1. If James Harden's playing great basketball, you do not want to see them in the first couple of rounds in a 7-game series. You make that known. They've gotten good minutes from people you've never heard of, again, from non-traditional role players right now. And I think the Cavs are well coached. They're deep. They got cheaper. They have a little bit more flexibility. Cavs kind of put themselves in a terrible spot, I thought, over the last few years, and then they got themselves in a better spot at that trade deadline. So, look out for the Cavs. Look out for the Heat. Yet again, Heat are well coached. They're okay talent-wise. I think they're probably the weakest talented team out of the top 7, 8 teams in the East. And then Orlando as well is in the mix. Yeah, the East has got some strong teams. I'd expect Orlando to make the playoffs, but Charlotte might give those two Florida teams a run for their money. We'll see. We will see. Only 6 spots are guaranteed, and there's about 8 teams that want them. So we'll keep tuned. Anything else you want to talk about, let me know in the comments. Please hit the like and the subscribe. For picking seeding, I think Boston wraps up the 2 seed. I think New York falls into 3. Cavs 4. I could see the Cavs playing the Raptors or the Sixers, and then those 2 would be the following 2. And then I think the last play-in spot in the East is between Miami, Orlando. Go with Miami. I think Miami is quite better coached. I think the Hornets can make a run. I think they'll all see each other in the play-in eventually. So we'll see how the play-in ends up. The play-in's going to be really fun. Count down towards that. But enjoy the last 25-ish games. Like I said, there's about a quarter of the season left. So it'll be like a nice little grind for the next 2 months. We'll be back probably in the next few days, maybe sooner. We'll see how this goes.